Have you ever walked into a doctor's office, sat down and thought, I don't want to bother them with this. It's probably nothing. What if I told you that one small sentence, one small decision not to share, could make the difference between a healthy future and a painful one? Let me take you into the story of two friends, Margaret and Helen. Margaret was 74. She was active, loved gardening, and enjoyed her book club on Fridays. Helen, the same age, was also bright and cheerful, but she had a habit of brushing things off when it came to her health. They often went to their doctor together, almost like a social outing. But while Margaret was open, curious, and honest with her doctor, Helen sometimes said things that closed the door to deeper conversations. Years later, Margaret continued to thrive, walking with energy and keeping up with her grandchildren. Helen, unfortunately, faced more health challenges, some of which could have been prevented if she had spoken differently in the doctor's office. Today, we're going to uncover 5 things seniors over 70 should never say to their doctor. Not because doctors don't care, but because these phrases hide important truths your body is trying to tell you. And here's how I want you to play along. As I go through these 5 things, choose the one that sounds most familiar to you, or maybe one you've said yourself. At the end, write the number in the comments. If number 3 hits home, type 3. If number 5 sounds just like you, type 5. This way, we'll see together how many people share the same habit. Let's begin. Thing number 1. It's just part of getting old. Helen often said this. When she felt pain in her knees or when her memory slipped a little, she shrugged and said, "It's just part of getting old." Her doctor, concerned, would ask more questions, but Helen didn't want to make a fuss. The truth is, while aging does bring natural changes, not every pain, ache, or memory slip is inevitable. Sometimes they're signs of treatable conditions, like arthritis that can be managed, vitamin deficiencies that can be corrected, or early warnings of diseases that can be slowed down with the right care. Margaret, on the other hand, said, "Doctor, this is new for me. What could it mean?" That simple change in words opened the door to testing, advice, and often early solutions. The tip here is simple. Never dismiss a symptom just because of age. Bring it up. Let your doctor decide whether it's normal or needs attention. So tell me, have you ever said, "It's just part of getting old"? If yes, write 1 in the comments. Thing number 2, I don't want to take more pills. Medication fatigue is real. By the time many of us reach 70, the list of prescriptions can be long. Helen used to say, "I don't want to take more pills, I'll be fine." And sometimes she skipped them altogether. But here's the problem. When you refuse a new prescription without discussion, you might be missing out on treatments that could improve your life, lowering blood pressure, protecting your bones, or preventing strokes. At the same time, sometimes doctors do prescribe too many medications, and it's okay to be cautious. But the answer isn't to shut the door, it's to ask. Margaret used different words. She said, "Doctor, can you explain why this medicine matters? Are there alternatives? Can we review what I'm taking?" That opened a dialogue, and sometimes the doctor even removed unnecessary medications. The tip here is this. Don't reject or accept medicine blindly. Talk, ask, understand. That one conversation could protect your health and your independence. If this sounds like something you've said, write 2 in the comments. Thing number 3. I don't want to bother you. Of all the things Helen said, this one was the most dangerous. She often felt shortness of breath or dizziness, but stayed silent. "I don't want to bother the doctor," she whispered to Margaret once. Months later, those ignored symptoms turned into a more serious condition. Doctors are there for you. They chose their profession because they want to help. And many conditions, when caught early, are easier and less expensive to treat. Margaret's approach was different. She said, "Doctor, I know you're busy, but I've noticed this new symptom. Can we talk about it?" Her doctor appreciated the honesty, and together they caught things early. The tip here is this: you are never a bother when it comes to your health. If your body is sending a signal, listen and share it. Now, if you've ever held back because you thought you might be a bother, write 3 below. I want to see how many of us have felt that way. Thing number 4. I forgot to mention it. This one seems innocent, but it's more common than you think. Helen once had a minor fall in her kitchen. She didn't break anything, but she felt embarrassed and didn't tell her doctor until much later. That delay meant her doctor couldn't suggest balance exercises or review her medications that might have caused dizziness. Falls are the leading cause of injury in older adults, and many times they can be prevented with small changes: better shoes, physical therapy, or adjusting medicine. But doctors can't help with what they don't know. Margaret, meanwhile, kept a small notebook. Before every appointment, she wrote down anything new, no matter how small: a rash, a fall, a change in appetite. Her doctor loved this and could see patterns over time. The tip is clear: don't leave things out. Write them down, share them. Sometimes the smallest detail unlocks the biggest insight. If you've ever left the doctor's office and thought, "Oh no, I forgot to mention that," type 4 in the comments. Thing number 5. I'll just wait and see. Waiting sometimes feels easier. Helen often told herself, "I'll just wait and see if it gets worse." But waiting cost her precious time. A small cough turned into a bigger chest infection. A small mold turned into a more serious skin issue. Doctors often say, earlier is better. Earlier diagnosis, earlier treatment, earlier peace of mind. Waiting can feel safe, but in truth, it can increase risk. Margaret, by contrast, believed in acting early. When something unusual showed up, she went in. Sometimes it was nothing, and that gave her relief. Other times, it was something important, and she was grateful she didn't wait. The tip is this: don't wait. Ask. Let your doctor rule things out or step in before it's too late. If this sounds like you, write 5 below. Putting it all together. Let's review the 5 things seniors over 70 should never say to their doctor. It's just part of getting old. I don't want to take more pills. I don't want to bother you. I forgot to mention it. I'll just wait and see. These aren't just words. They're roadblocks. Roadblocks that keep you from getting the best care possible. But when you replace them with curiosity, honesty, and confidence, you open the door to better health, more energy, and a longer, happier life. Margaret's story reminds us that healthy aging is not about pretending we're young. It's about respecting our bodies, listening to the signals, and building honest partnerships with our doctors. Helen's story is a gentle warning, because many of us have said these things before. But the good news is, it's never too late to change. Final thought and call to action. Now it's your turn. Out of these 5 things, which one have you caught yourself saying? If you've said number 1, write 1 in the comments. If number 3 sounds like you, type 3. Or maybe number 5 is your habit, then write 5. Pick the one that feels most familiar and share it below. Let's see which of these is the most common in our community. And if you found this helpful, consider subscribing for more stories and tips about aging well, staying strong, and making the most of life after 50. Because the truth is this: getting older is not about losing time. It's about learning how to use time wisely, how to protect our health, and how to live every year with strength and joy. So remember, your voice matters in the doctor's office. Don't silence it. Speak up,
ask questions, and give yourself the best chance at a long, healthy, and fulfilling life.